Hey groupers, hope you're ready to dig into God's Word and to love on one another. First, just talk to each other a little bit. Share with your group members. Does your family keep any annual traditions? Does your family have any yearly traditions? And are any of your family's traditions, annual traditions, are they religious oriented? Are they related to a church holiday? Talk about that with just one another. Share a little bit. If you didn't grow up at Lakeside Christian Church, what was the communion tradition at the church that you grew up in? That you attended before you attend here? And if you grew up in church, what was communion like for you as a kid? What did it mean to you? What did you think about it? Just share your childhood memories of communion. Do you prefer taking communion every week like we do here at Lakeside? Or do you think that we should take it less often? Wonder what you think about that. How do you imagine that first Passover night would have been like for the people of Israel, the original Passover? Do you think that they slept? Would you have slept? Have you ever participated in a Passover celebration? Do you have friends that were Jewish and you joined them for this tradition? If you ever participated in a Passover celebration, the real deal, just share what your experiences were like. What are the four main elements involved in the first Passover? And what do they symbolize for the Jewish people? What are they supposed to remember in these emblems? How do you feel about this harsh plague? Did God overdo it? Was it just, meaning just right? Do you wish that this was different? Do you wish that this story wasn't in the Old Testament? What parallels do you see between Israel's Passover and our communion service? Walk back through the Passover things, the elements, what they're remembering, and then draw some lines between it and us, between them and us, between Passover and communion. When you take communion on Sunday at church, how do you prepare yourself spiritually for communion? What do you most often think about or visualize when you are taking communion? How do you take communion? Just share with your group if you have any habits for when communion is passed. How do you take it? What do you do? Could we make this private communion moment more communal in our service? How could we make it so that more people felt connected to the people around them? Well, that's the application. Just a reminder, the application this week is that with your family or with some close friends, you'll plan a meal, and as part of the meal, full meal, you'll take communion. That's what they were doing in the first century. Well, I hope you have a great group. Look forward to seeing you next week. God bless.